and sealed up the gate. Oh, 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 and sealed up the gate. With every test and interview, they painted his soul, but that didn't matter. They had lost control. They looked at a number, not the man within, ignoring all the voices that should have helped him win. The purpose of the hearing was to guide him through, yet they tossed the science like they never knew. Too dangerous, too damaged, oh, that's not who he was. Just a child in a system without a pause. Every single expert, they knew the facts. Non-violent heart, it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate, but the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Oh, they focused on the wounds as if pain could define the essence of a kid who's meant to shine. A constitutional failure right before our eyes, lost in the shuffle where justice dies. America, can you see? Can you open the door to the voices unheard, fighting for more? Every single expert, they knew the facts. Non-violent heart, it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate, but the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Eddie's story is a lesson, not just for today. A reminder to listen, to show a better way. When the voices of the many are ignored with disdain, we've lost the battle and it's all in vain. Let the echoes of the experts scream loud and clear. For every Eddie standing there, we cannot disappear.
Oh, we here, man. What's going on, everybody? How we doing, man?
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys today.
Let me tell you about a kid, only 15 years. Eddie O'Brien, caught in the gears. Political pawns, they played their game. Power and money all in his name. But was tight with wealth, no simple fate. Climbed the ladder, sealed Eddie's state. Wayne, but a prosecutor with a purpose. In the court of politics, none could touch us. This ain't just a story, it's a legacy. Eddie was the stone that shaped their destiny. With every connection, every hand they shake, Eddie's case became the ground they break. Riley and Bud, best friends since youth, built a law firm, they spun the truth. When Riley took the case, he was never alone. Built on foundations, powerfully grown. With the Budwell Network, they made a show. Charlie Baker in the mix, he's part of the flow. All linked together, climbing the heights. On Eddie's back, they rose to new sights. This ain't just a story, it's a legacy. Eddie was the stone that shaped their destiny. With every connection, every hand they shake, Eddie's case became the ground they break. Kimberly Budd, her name now in lights. Chief Justice of the court in the highest of fights. Calls Riley godfather, mentor, uncle too. Let that sink in deep. Betty's pain paved through. Judge Heffernan ruled fair, you played your part. But the pressure came down like a storm in the dark. It wasn't about truth, wasn't about rights. It was all about power and their political heights. This ain't just a story, it's a legacy. Eddie was the stone that shaped their destiny. With every connection, every hand they shake, Eddie's case became the ground they break. Eddie got used by a system so cruel. A pawn on the chessboard, they played him as a fool. So remember his name, let it echo, let it be free. Eddie till it's backwards. Fight for the right you see. Can we keep it real honest? Let the truth ignite. We don't bend, we don't break. We will stand for the light.
Now listen closely.
Oh yeah, shout out to everybody here. Let's go. Little Motown for you.
In the mid-90s, truth lost its place while the system turned its back on the human race. Oh,
That's what we're here to do. Thank you.
was filling up the beds. Didn't matter who they grabbed, just fill up the spread. They took the innocent kids, tossed them aside. Evidence was trash, it was a twisted ride. Bodies in the system, just numbers on a page. The system didn't care about the pain or the rage. Now look around, see the streets in despair. Families breaking apart, chaos in the air. Wonder why the youth are lost in the haze. A puppet show of lives caught in a cruel maze. Stand up, dudes taken. The order they kept left the neighborhood shattered. Families wept. Addicts in the alleys, shadows of the past. We're stuck in the cycle, feeling outclassed. Why do the corners look like a zombie show? It's by design, we all know it, don't you know? It didn't happen by accident.
By accident, man. What's going on, everybody, man? I'm just trying to get a few things situated here, man. What's going on? I figure we'll play a little bit of music. You know, free Eddie O'Brien, you know, but jam out Little Boy from Somerville.
Just a boy from Somerville, caught in the storm. Innocence shattered in a world so torn. They said it was fear, reopening the doors, filled with whispers behind closed floors. A white boy convicted, made it look fair. But in the shadow of justice, the truth's laid bare. Eddie was a name, but just a pawn in the game. Sacrificed and railroaded, nothing felt the same. Oh, just a boy from Somerville. They played with his life as if it was a thrill. Oh, politics and pressure, shadows at play, innocent hearts lost in this twisted ballet. Barnum was under pressure, he folded like glass. The DA showboating, just trying to amass. The system system wanted justice, but justice was blind. Changing the laws, leaving truth far behind. Remove the judge who dared to be just. Said he was demonized in the world's cruel thrust. Size mattered not when politics run deep. From day one he fought, but all they did was sweep. Oh, just a boy from Somerville. They played with his life as if it was a thrill. Politics and pressure, shadows at play, innocent hearts lost in this twisted ballet. And those inside knew the story was wrong. We could have done better, sang the old wrong song. Experts pressured to twist the truth's arm. In the court of despair there was no charm. He never stood a chance from the very start. A tragic confession of broken heart. Watch Eddie's face when the world turned cold. An innocent spirit caught in a tale retold. The system failed him, that much is clear. A boy from Somerville, lost in his fear. Yet in the ashes his story remains of the justice betrayed and the bitter pains. Through the lens of history we sing his plight. Remember the boy who stood up to the night. Oh, just a boy from Somerville. They played with his life as if it was a thrill. Oh, politics and pressure, shadows at play, innocent hearts lost in this twisted ballet. So let's tell his story, raise voices, unite for every Eddie. Let's stand up and fight. Just a boy from Somerville, forever will stand in the heart of the people. His truth in our hands.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing today? We have some good music for y'all. We gotta have a good show. I'll put my camera on in 1 second. I gotta see why this shit ain't working. So give me a minute. You know, my camera will be back on in a second. Some reason it's not working. But good morning, everybody. Let me know y'all can hear me in the chat. Shout out to everybody. Good morning. Good morning. What a blessed day it is. Another day, another year. Because let me tell you, when I was 29, that was a tough year, man. Actually more like 2026. I don't even think I should be here right now, but I'm blessed to be here. You know, another day, another fight. You know, I'm glad we're talking free Eddie O'Brien episode, you know, and really because I know this story, you know, I always got to give credit to them guys over there, you know, for introducing this story to a lot of us people, because without JFK and them guys talking about this story, I don't think we even know really about it, you know. So I'm just glad that I was able to latch on to this story, read about this story, get addicted to this story. You know, I might need like an AA after this or an NA. You know, last night I was going over the juvenile transfer hearings, you know, and oh my God, you know, you could see the fuckery donut being made, if that makes sense. You could see the bullshit being made because every wish, man, like, was taken away from this kid. This kid got more time in the joint than he does in school. I don't make this about me because today I want to dedicate this whole stream to Eddie O'Brien. And see that right there, that means a lot to me. You know what I mean? Not a lot of things get me emotional and worked up. My kids, my grandkids, you know, my wife, and in this case, you know what I mean? Like this case, I take this shit like just very, very seriously. You know, people will see since I started talking about this. Like I've been all hands on. Like it is whatever it is. Wherever it's gonna, you know, I'm not here to solve a crime. I believe Eddie's innocence, you know, but today this ain't about me because I think we're gonna dedicate this whole stream, this whole year, every wish I hope comes true for Eddie O'Brien, for Trish, for Big Ed, for Ed's sisters, for Ed's aunt, for Ed's friends, for Ed's supporters. Because you know what? That family has been crushed enough. That man has been hurt enough. Been waiting a long time. And we're going to have JoJo on in a little bit, you know. But in the mid-90s, the system didn't care. And if someone could let JoJo know, I sent it to his messenger inbox, just tell him not till noon. Come on at noon, you know. But the system didn't care about the truth, did it? It didn't care about the kids. It didn't care about the families. No one talks about this. You know, it did care about what I remember from the 90s because I wasn't a juvenile, but it didn't matter because they were rushing you in the system. Back in the 90s, the system didn't care about the truth. It didn't. It didn't care about families. It cared about filling beds, making a quota. I still got to get my freaking camera on. I haven't even looked at it yet. It cared about, you know, making a quota. You know, and that ain't right. It didn't matter who they had to grab. It didn't matter if the kid was innocent. It didn't matter if the evidence was trash. They just needed bodies, and that's a fact. That's something nobody can deny. They didn't stop with the kids either. They took all the stand-up dudes off the street. They took all the stand-up guys. They took all the knock-around guys, the guys that would knock your head off when you got out of line in the neighborhood. You know, keep the addicts out the neighborhood. But they left the streets. They locked all them guys up. They left all them guys locked up. And what they do, they left the street filled with addicts. They left the streets filled with pain. They left them streets filled with chaos. I remember driving through Roxbury late at night and right across from, I think it's like right across from the Boston police station, you know, not far from the jail. There was one corner block that had to be 100 people on it. 2 a.m. Eddie said hello and thank you to all the chat. And Mikey, tell Eddie, you know, we're rooting for him, we're fighting for him, and whatever he needs. You know, but that whole block, and some people from Mass might know what I'm talking about, where I'm talking about. It was like a whole block that was right across from the Boston PD, right in Roxbury. I used to deliver up there to the Roxbury post office and shit, and I used to drive by it every night, and boy, some aggressive panhandling going on. Some aggressive panhandling going on that corner. But that's what happened. Now we look around, and you wonder why a whole generation is doped up. You know what I mean? We got a whole generation all doped up, don't know what's going on. That ain't right. Yep, they don't know. There we go. Now we back. Got my camera back. They don't know what the hell is going on. Why every corner looks like a zombie movie. You know, the guys that raised me, you know, that taught me the way of, guys like Eddie Lato, you know what I mean? Guys like Bobo Marapisi, you know what I mean? Teach me how to play gin, teach me how to, you know, stay out of trouble, you know, Frank Russo. You know, a lot of stand-up guys, man, back in the day. You know what I mean? And there was two police departments. There was two police. There was the police, you know, that we know now, the police that just don't mind knocking your head off and doing whatever they got to do. And then you had the police of the streets, which a lot of you call organized crime and gangsters and criminals. But what were they doing? They were policing their own guys. You know, and every once in a while, someone got out of line, it got handled, and that's sad. But they were policing their own guys, and the neighborhoods were safe. And that shit didn't happen by accident. It happened because the system made it happen. And in the middle of all that, right, in the middle of all that BS, now maybe I can get my camera back on. In the middle of all that chaos, you know, there was a 15-year-old boy in the shadows. What's Eddie's story? All right, let's go, man. Share the stream right now, man. Everybody, free Eddie. Hear this.
With no thought, no faith in what could be said. Every expert that came said the same refrain. Eddie wasn't violent, he was fighting through the pain. Not a danger to the world, just a kid with a dream. They taught the wounds and scars like it's part of the theme, but they missed the truth behind the boy standing tall, caught in a system that refused to hear his call. Every single expert, they knew the facts. Non-violent heart, it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate, but the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Lost control. They looked at a number, not the man within, ignoring all the voices that should have helped him win. The purpose of the hearing was to guide him through. Dangerous to damage, though that's not who he was. Just a child in a system without a pause. Every single expert, they knew the facts. Non-violent heart, it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate, but the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Oh. They focused on the wounds as if pain could define the essence of a kid who's meant to shine. A constitutional failure right before our shuffle where justice dies. America, can you see? Can you open the door to the voices unheard? Fighting for it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate, but the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Every story is a lesson, not just for today. A reminder to listen, to show a better way. When the voices of the many are ignored with disdain, we've lost the battle and it's all in vain. Let the echoes of the experts ring loud and clear. For every Eddie standing there, we cannot disappear.
Oh, here's a new joint y'all haven't heard yet. That's my wife making this jam right here.
They took one look and wrote the story like a life was small and the truth was blurry. A kid in the frame kept saying the same. There was proof in the dark they tried to ignore. A stain on the floor that belonged to more. You don't get to call it when the pieces don't fit. Not when the man's whole life is hanging on it. Only tested Eddie's DNA. Only tested Eddie's DNA. But the scene said more than what they chose to say. What they chose to say. There was DNA there that wasn't his. There was DNA there, and that's what this is. When I slowing down, when I backing off, we want Eddie free and we want it now. They kept moving fast like the case was closed, but a broken truth is a lie exposed. Every missed detail, every line they bent, can't erase the man or the time he spent. And the woman who's singing is hurting love of the cold clean mask on a rigged up front. So open that file and read it again. The truth don't change because they called it then. If somebody else left blood in that night, and say it out loud and make it right. Only tested Eddie's DNA. Only tested Eddie's DNA. But the scene said more than what they chose to say. What they chose to say. There was DNA there that wasn't his. There was DNA there, and that's what this is. We're not slowing down. We're not backing up. We want Eddie free, and we want it now. No delays, no more side-eye doubt. If the truth isn't there, pull it out. A kid deserves better than a story made thin, and a man deserves freedom when the facts pointing. Only tested DNA. Only tested Eddie's DNA. But the scene said more than what they chose to say. What they chose to say. There was DNA there that wasn't his. There was DNA there, and that's what this is. We're not slowing down. We're not backing off. We want Eddie free. We want it now.
Good as well, man. That one was a hit. What's going on, everybody, man? All the music is available for the members, man. We also going to put it all on a disc and give it to the O'Briens. And who knows, maybe we'll do a fundraiser, right? So the money could go to Eddie's Rule 30, you know, because it takes a village, man. We got JoJo coming in today, man. You know, someone special in the building. A man that's been around, right? Man that's seen it all. And if you know, you know. A man that knows the truth from inside. A real one. You know, we're going to talk to him today. But I wanted to say something about mods, really. I got rid of some mods yesterday. Actually, it was just getting like so messy, and I just want to clear something up real quick, right? Because I know people were whispering, guessing. They were even making up stories in the comment section, right? So, and it's not that like people, oh, I figured I'm not a sheep. It's not that. It's not that. But yeah, I got rid of some mods, and I tried to do a democratic way. I got rid of like 6 of them. But not because they're not sheep, not because they bad people, not because they don't rock with Eddie, none of that. I mean, we just had too many mods, plain and simple. But honestly, I'm not here to solve a crime, right? And everyone knows that I'm 100% free Eddie. And I think a lot of people here are free Eddie as well. And I just think that I really don't know if I need mods that go against me. You know what I mean? Fairly. Who ain't biased. You know, mods that ain't jumping on people for having questions. Mods who ain't blocking folks because they don't agree with us. And I'm not saying this that even happened to any particular mod, but I just want to say this out loud. Like, I'm not here to solve a crime. I'm the farthest thing from a detective. Trust me. My moral compass is screwed the frig up. You know what I mean? I wasn't always a nice guy, man. It was a time I was a real bad person. You know what I mean? But I went to prison, you know why? Because I needed to go to prison. But I say that because I just want mods that can hold the chat down fairly. You know what I mean? Mods that ain't biased. You know what I mean? And there would just be no toleration for any disrespect towards the O'Brien family. 0. You know, 0. No tolerance. You know how over in North Korea, no tolerance. You know, so mods ain't blocking folks just because they don't agree with us, hiding people, and then I got to stop the stream. You know, Freebird was constantly getting hidden. You know, I'm not here to solve a case. I'm here because we believe in innocence. And after you hear that DNA, right, if you ain't convinced, then you need to just kick rocks and go somewhere. I don't know what's going to convince you, but believing in Eddie, right, don't mean we shut people up. You know, we're just standing up on the truth, you know, not on fear. I want to chat where people can talk, ask, debate, questions, as long as they're respectful, right? We don't need 20 people swinging hammers or taking shots. You know, I mean, we need a few solid ones that keep the peace, keep it fair, keep it rocking, and don't let it go to their head. But if you're not a mod anymore, it ain't personal, it ain't beef, it ain't shade, it's just a little housekeeping. And that don't mean you can't be a mod again. But we're going to bring up our boy. I believe he's here. You know, the truth. You know, we'll bring up JoJo in just a second. Let me find him. You know.
I'm here, pal.
What's up, JoJo? Welcome back.
Thanks, brother. How are you?
Are you there? Or you need a minute?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right, not bad, man. How you doing?
I'm good, pal. I'm good.
Yeah, we can hear you. I believe the chat can hear you. I'll look right now. You know, yep, everybody can hear you. I got the thumbs up. You know, we just, you know, living it up, enjoying the day. You know, how we doing?
I'm doing good. They must be crazier than me to want to hear me. You know what I mean, brother?
You know, I think because they know that. I think you're so close to Eddie, you know what I mean? And anybody that's probably close to Eddie, you know, they can respect, you know. But big shout out for the 10 gifted chats. Miss Luscious, really
Right.
appreciate you holding the chat down.
No,
You know, but
I enjoy it.
they appreciate you, man, because you know you've been so loyal to Eddie and you've been a good friend of Eddie's.
I appreciate them too. Believe me, it's different for me to get to like people without
Go
even knowing them. You know
ahead.
what I mean? But the kindness that's on that chat is just, it's very welcoming. It makes me feel good, you know? And I know you're going to get people like one thing I learned, Mike, as a business agent, right? You're only as good as yesterday, pal. You know, you go in with great intentions you think you're going to save your union, you're going to take care of everybody, but you can give a guy work for 10 years. The day he gets laid off for drinking, you're the one that's no good. You know what I mean? It ain't him that was drinking, Mike. You get it?
Oh
Do you
yeah,
understand? Do you understand what I'm
you know,
saying? So you're never
absolutely.
gonna make everybody happy, Mike. Never. But the love I feel on that chat is it's just nice. I feel good for the O'Briens, you know,
No,
finally, you know?
absolutely not. You know,
You're breaking up.
absolutely not. Yeah, you breaking up a little bit. You know, I don't know if you're in a bad spot right now or can the chat hear him well? Hey, why don't you try to sign off and come back on?
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, why don't you sign off and come back on because it's breaking up a little bit.
Okay. I'll do that now.
Just sign off and do the process again. All right, bye. We're gonna have JoJo back up here. It was just wasn't. We couldn't really. It was breaking up a little bit, but he's a dear friend to the O'Briens. You know, he really cares about that family. You know what I mean? And they feel the same way about him, from what I gather. You know, JoJo knew Eddie. You know, when everybody was turning it back on him, and he said, "I feel bad because let me just kick him from here. I don't want to kick the wrong one. All right. All right, no, kick him out. He should sign out. Sign out yet. No, he actually said, I feel bad because I had so much time with Eddie and his family didn't. But I think his family, you know, like, you know, anybody that could be, you know, close to their son. You know what I mean? My son welcomes you, we welcome you. That's just how it is. And respect. You know, I could respect that. We'll play another song till JoJo comes back on. I got some good questions for JoJo, but if you have any questions, put them in the chat. You know what I mean? Put them in the chat right now. You know what I mean? No slacking. You know, put them all in that chat. And we'll play a song and we'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah. Mm, hey. They took one look and wrote the story like a life was small and the truth was blurry. A kid in the frame with the weight of a name, but the facts in the room kept staying the same.
I'll bring JoJo back up.
Can you hear me?
Okay. We got JoJo back. Yep, I can hear you good now. Can everyone in the chat hear JoJo? You know, yeah, we have a great chat, man. And we keep it that way. You know, no drama, no bullshit, because I don't think we have time for drama, right? We're on a clock. You know, the clock ran away. But yeah, JoJo should be back. You know, no, he must have dropped off again. Add to stage. There we go.
Here I am.
Here we are. Now we got you loud and clear.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. It's technology, man. It's technology.
I am no good at
You
this.
know,
I'll be the first to admit it, you know?
hey,
That's
you
why you're
learn
the
by
podcaster.
doing. Hey, you know what? There was a time where I had no idea what I was doing. It was rough in the beginning, you know?
Right. Oh yeah, I
It
get it.
was,
I get it, brother.
it was absolutely rough, man.
It's kind
Shout
of
out to
comical.
Freebird.
It's kind of comical when I went back and listened to the show after to hear myself on the radio, you know. I just it's like
That
you
was
don't
a
even
good
know
show.
who you are.
I watched, yeah. I actually re-listened to that episode, and there's not many episodes that I re-listened to. That was a very, very that was a good one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's always great when you're not thinking about when you're on the spot talking, because then people get what's really going on.
Oh,
When you
absolutely.
rehearse stuff, it's that's why I don't pay attention to any of these podcasts because there's a lot of people are out to hurt people. If you're gonna do something right, and you can't put your name on it, like they go anonymous and they make up names, like I just can't even be part of something like that.
Stand on your
If you got
square.
some, if you got something to say to somebody, use your name. Like be there. Don't come under aliases and anonymous. And that's why I really never get into this because people can say things about people without using their name. And to me, that's a coward, and I can't have no part of that.
Oh, that's how the day of the internet. That the game has changed. The
Right.
game is
Right.
definitely changed, but there's still some stand-up guys out here, and a lot of these stories I think need to be told. A lot of these prison podcasts, um,
Yes.
it needs to be told what goes on, inside it, and these young kids need to know that jail is
Without
not
a
cool,
doubt. Without a doubt. I agree 100%. I see guys doing good things.
A kid told me once, "Oh, that must be so cool, man. That's awesome. You was in prison." And I was like, "Bro, no, there's
Yeah.
nothing cool about it."
Mike, there was a day that, I thought it really was. Like I really thought, I'm third generation bank robber. That was a proud thing for me growing up. I
Oh
was
yeah.
15 years old. I was 15 years old when I robbed my first bank.
I
I
remember a teacher called my house and said that I put a report in saying that my idol was Mickey Conway. You know what I mean? When they played him in Goodfellas, Robert De Niro played his part. But yeah, man, it's crazy times. That's who you look
right.
up to because them guys looked up to them. We were raised by they were good stand up guys in the neighborhood, and like I said earlier, I don't know if you were listening. That you got two police departments. You got the police, and then you got the police up the street, the wise guys that took care of the neighborhood, and they were just
Right.
policing their own.
Absolutely. I grew up with
They
great
kept
guys.
they kept it
I was
safe.
very lucky. I was very lucky. To the probably to the citizens, they probably wouldn't think that. But people that understand, like, I was taught by the best. And I missed them. They taught me
Oh
loyalty. They
yeah,
taught me, they taught me loyalty. They taught me to be a gentleman. Like, we do what we do. But you got to be always stay a gentleman, Mike, no matter what. You know.
I remember Eddie Lato getting me a shoe shine box, right? Like Bobo Marapisi, told me how to play gin. A lot of stand up guys, and them days are kind of like
Eddie Eddie was a gentleman all the way to the end. Eddie was a really nice guy.
oh,
I
absolutely.
like being around. I like being around Eddie when I was with him.
Yeah, but let's get into the Eddie O'Brien, man. Take us back, right? A lot of people when you first met Eddie in Cambridge House of Corrections, right?
Right.
Now, what was your first
Um,
impression of him?
it's funny because I had seen him a couple of times. I wasn't close enough to him to talk to him yet. I think he knew I was there. You know what I mean? We all know each other when each other's there. There's always you know, when someone gets wind that someone that we know is coming, we usually have a care package waiting for them by the time they get up to the block, you know. And it was funny. I just seen this. He was so big and such a little boy's face. You understand? Like and me at the time. At the time, I was facing time for a bank robbery, so I was in a different kind of world then, you know. And just seeing this young kid, a big kid, and my heart went out to him instantly because he didn't have a clue, you know what I mean? This wasn't his world, you know. And but he walked with his head up, and that I liked, and I knew I would like him, you know what I mean? And it was an ugly case, so. And he still walked. And that drew my attention. He didn't cover, hide. He didn't feel like he did anything wrong. You could see that from the get-go. You know what I mean? And so, of course, I liked him right away. Plus, he's Irish. So, you know, we stick together in there, you know? And I never really got to talk to him much. But go ahead, Mike.
Did you guys know when he was coming into the system, like, oh, we got this young kid coming in from Somerville that they're saying did this horrible crime?
Well, yeah, because, you know, you got to remember, all the guards are from the community, too, like over there. You know, like just like the, you know, county business is political through and through. So the COs to it's who you know who you're. You know, you want to be a captain, you want to be a lieutenant, you know, you put money into the campaign fund, you know what I mean? That's how that all operates, whether people like to admit it or not, you know? So, you know, a lot of neighborhood kids were COs in them days, you know? And so, yeah, word gets quick around who's coming or who's here, you know what I'm saying? And
was he forced to act grown real fast, you know? He was forced to act, you know, because he's around grown men. He's in a system that was made to break the toughest men. Was he forced to act grown real fast?
Absolutely. He was thrown right in with the wolves, you know, but he had a persona about him. Like you know, you could tell, you know, number one, he was a big guy, and number two, he had a few of us around him that, you know, had his back no matter what. And you know, we were teaching him, listen, even this kid's personality wasn't to be a bully or to hit people right away. So when people saying things to him, you know, it bounced off him to where with me and you, it would be a different issue. You see what I'm saying? Eddie wasn't prepared for any of that. That wasn't his personality. He wasn't violent, Michael. You know, he grew up with sisters and a caring, loving mother and father. Like, it wasn't like we grew up. We go half our lives on the street. We got home, you know, our mother and fathers were there for dinner and put us to bed. Like, we were on the streets all day. So we were all hard. We knew what to expect. We knew what we got ourselves into when we did things. You know what I mean, Michael? Yeah, this kid didn't have a clue. This kid didn't have a clue, you know? So, you know, of course we have to teach him, like, listen, Eddie, they say one thing, you got to handle this, whether you like it or not, because if you don't handle this, you know, they're always going to try you. You know what I mean? And even that, and the thing Eddie always said, and this is what I get about him, is that, you know, I don't care as long as they don't put their hands on me. If anyone puts their hands on me, then I got to defend myself. And it just took one instant. I mean, he's a big boy, you know what I mean? And, you know, you got to think he didn't get in trouble in there for a long time. I think and the trouble that he did get in with the fight was it was kind of a race riot going on. And then everybody's coming at him and he was just tossing them around like rag dolls because he's a big boy. He's a strong kid, you know, but he was never in it to hurt nobody. He never used a weapon. He just wasn't that guy, Mike, you know?
Right, yeah. And hence that opportunity, he was a big guy, so he was a target.
100%. And the thing was, look at 30 years and no violence in the joint.
That's
I mean, amazing. Come on. And he was in the worst of the worst. This kid was thrown into the wolves, guy. I mean, Mike, you don't want to see my prison record. I'll tell you that.
My disciplinary record's pretty crazy. And I was just thinking, like, this is a place, like you said the other day, like, sometimes shit just, you got to be bad. Sometimes
No, you got
you have to do it. You not be
right,
bad, but you got to handle your business because if not, you're a
right.
punk and you're going to be a target.
This is there's only one rule of thumb in there, and that's violence, Michael. Don't forget that. Only the strong survive. Like you gotta. I kind of try to make an image for people. Like this is like being thrown into the UFC ring. You're in there, and then the bell going off, and everybody against each other. That's how it had to be. And that's why you see the gangs. You belong to a gang. A gang in there is protection. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Just like I say, the Charlestown guys had their tables. The Southie guys had their tables. The East Boston guys had their tables. Lynn guys had their tables. We all had respect. Everybody from Charlestown would eat their tables, such and such, in the chow hall and stuff. And that's basically how everything would go down in order. You see what I'm saying? And Eddie never was part of any clique or gang or nothing. He didn't have to. You know what I mean? And that's earned respect. He had to earn that respect. Eddie would form hockey leagues. Like he got hockey back up in Norfolk. Like Eddie's mind was like a kid. He went in there as a kid, Mike. He wanted to play hockey, basketball. That's how he passed his time. You get it? And he'd get the leagues going. He was the commissioner of the leagues. Like he always wanted good things, like his friends to be on team, like enjoyment stuff, instead of like walking the yard, clicking up, into the drug scene. Never got into the drug scene. Like he, any of his friends were in the drug scene, he'd be like, what are you doing? Get away from that stuff. That's Eddie. You know what I mean? Like you'd hide from Eddie. You hide from Eddie because if you were misbehaving, you didn't want him to know it,
Oh, absolutely. Somebody said that their 15-year-old son is 15 and a half to be exact, but they don't know how to put into words the fright and horror that overtakes them when they think about him being in Eddie's position.
I had, it's funny you say that because I had that instant in my own life. Like when I got married and I had two stepsons that I raised, and I remember on his 15th birthday, I went in there to give him, a card with his money in there, for his birthday. And I'm staring at him and I just got like teared up because my life was different than Mike. I was a business agent, owned my own home, two little girls, two stepsons, and, raising a family, working 16 hours a day with the Teamsters. And it was just a different world, Michael, and I was so far away from that life I lived in Charlestown, I got sober and, I became a citizen basically, and I just remember going in and looking at my son and he was 15. I just got teary eyed because I remember being 15 and I had already robbed the bank, and looking at him, I could never wish that for him. Like, I thank God he was such a great kid. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't imagine that for him. You see how I had that moment, Mike,
Absolutely.
And then again, and in the same breath, I thought of Eddie. I'm like, imagine, I'm looking at John and I'm like, my God, Eddie's been gone for this long. And who calls me 10 minutes later? And this is like in 2015, Eddie calls me 10 minutes later. Like it was just one of those weird moments in your life, And Eddie will remember that conversation. I guarantee it,
Yeah, I mean, everything, we hear about Eddie, people seem to, like you said, he's a peacemaker. I tell this story like about the on Jim incident, that could have been another race riot, that popped off.
Absolutely. And Mike, it's so easy to like, I hate the fact that I even have to defend them because they're such great people. They did it the right way. They raised their family the right way. Through all this, they still stay together, and somebody hit me with a reality yesterday that, I hadn't even thought about. Like it took 2 years for them to hug their son when this all happened, and I got to be with him all the time. You wouldn't believe, the hugs during games, I felt so bad for them because I get it. I know that pain, being taken away from my daughters. I wouldn't let them come up and see me in a visiting room. You know what I mean? Like, I know that pain of not being able to hold your child, and I just can't even fathom it, what they had to deal with, you know? But they did.
Oh yeah, it's just Ed O'Brien. Everything I hear about him, such a nice guy, and I talked to him about these situations, and they stayed strong, and they're a great family oriented, family. And Eddie never really had a chance to be, a real brother, and the sisters never had a chance to experience a real brother, and vice versa, because of where he is, for something that we all know that he didn't do, you know.
And
So
exact,
we
and
can
the
see
thing
why
is
he was scared.
you. And let me tell you something though, and that's another thing. Like they made the best of that. Like Eddie was involved in every part of his sister's lives, just not physically, but he was part of their, like, believe me, he was still a big brother to them as best he could be, over a phone or through a visiting room. They seen each other. They grown up together. Trust me when I tell you,
Oh,
they
absolutely, but it's still different. It's still different having a brother behind the wall and having a brother at home.
absolutely. But you know
But
what? Look,
I mean, they still got love. That's still a great. They still have love. But it's just a different experience. You don't get to wake up with your brother. You can't run home and get your brother.
absolutely.
You can't run home and get your sister. But all this.
Well, I
It's
give you,
just
like, there's such a close knit family. I mean, Auntie Jerry is Eddie's godmother, man, and you see how she fights for him. Like his Aunt Mary, no one really. These people are just amazing, tender people. Doc, Mary, they invited me up for Thanksgiving. First time I ever had stuffing muffins, right? And they were the best things I ever had in my life. I'm not kidding you. I have everybody in my family making them now because of Mary. Like these are the things I. It's so funny. Like they're such a part of my life, and you wish you can scream from the top of a mountain, like, let this kid go. You got the wrong guy, And they stick together. They're right
right.
by his side. Everybody is fighting for him because he's not guilty. If they even thought, this is a family that grew up with police, remember, Eddie's grandfather was the chief of police. If they thought for 1 second that this kid did something like this would not be the way this is going. This is going the way it is for a reason, Mike. This is all happening for a reason, because enough is enough. Like, no one's giving up. They're not going away. They're getting their kid home. He didn't do this. He got robbed. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and I'm gonna be going over the transfer hearing this week, the second transfer hearing. But for what you saw, did the system treat Eddie like a kid or like a grown man?
Oh, they had no choice. They treated him like a grown man. He didn't get no special treatment. None at all. Even though he
From
was
the
a juvenile.
administration either? How about from the
Never. That kid
administration?
he got no favoritism. They threw him right out to the wolves. What do you mean? He was at Walpole, Shirley, Max. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? Where did they ever look out for him?
Yep, but I didn't know if some gods might be favorable towards him. It reminds me of my kid, or but that's just how.
Absolutely not. No, these ain't the places for that, Mike. There's no love between the guys and the convicts up there. You know what I mean?
Know
I refuse to call them. I refuse to call them inmates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there's a difference between inmates and cons. You know what I mean? My
100%.
opinion, anyway.
100%. And everybody in my eyes is a convict until they're proven inmate. You understand?
Oh yeah, and once they're inmate, they can stay on their own because cons don't mess with
That's
inmates.
That's right.
Guys don't mess with inmates. But did you feel they already made up their mind about this kid?
Oh,
Everybody.
100%. 100%. 100%. It was just, I mean, there wasn't anybody that didn't know about this case, and there wasn't anybody that didn't know that this kid was getting screwed, whether he did it or not. You understand? So people didn't even get a chance to think he didn't because of the way I went for him. Like he was found guilty. Guys that know the know, though, knew he was. I looked at him and just knew he didn't have a chance. I didn't even know nothing about the case. I just knew the publicity and the way it was going on TV. I'm like, this kid ain't got a shot in the dark, And then once I knew, but see, the difference, the benefit I had is I knew Heffernan, and I knew if there was any chance, it was going to be through Heffernan. You understand? And once I seen what they did with Heffernan, I said, oh, I didn't even have to see any of that paperwork you're talking about. I didn't have to see Heffernan report. I knew everything that went on there. You know, it's the politics. I mean, how does it, if this isn't all about politics and connections and everything with Riley, right? How does a guy that was never a district attorney even get elected, never tried a case, even get elected to be the county DA? Think about it. This is about stepping stones. This is about, all right, to be governor, you got to be a DA. Then you got to be there's stepping stones to get to where you go. Just like in seniority in the unions, it's the years you get to where you get, right? Same thing with politics. They Riley's the guy. Everybody's going to do what they're told. You get where I'm coming from?
And then
Because
Patrick Duvall comes in and steps on all Riley's plans.
Well, I'll tell you right now, and it's funny you say that because you just blew that right out of the water. Riley would have been governor if the Democratic Party was changing. The Riley regime was changing. It was getting more politically correct, how I say it. Gays were getting elected. Minorities, and that's the only thing that stopped Riley from being governor, is that the Democratic Party was fighting amongst itself. You see what I mean? And
you got a guy like Obama that came from out of state,
right? Out of state, Chicago, I think. Right? How about that one?
He wasn't even from around here, and they wanted him over Riley. It was like, we don't even want our own.
Exactly. And that's what happened, and that's why I'll tell you right now, even that, and because of all this, I mean, that's the only reason we found the evidence that we have now that what Riley did. I mean, think about it. If he became governor, he's such a egotistic maniac. He'd probably still trying to be governor. You understand?
Oh,
and
yeah, sure.
Well, he how do I say it? I'm trying to think about three different things right now. And just say like the evidence, even the stuff that Eddie has right now, okay? They don't have to even let that, they can say that don't count. Knowing that it would help Eddie, knowing that it sets a tone of what Riley was doing illegally. You see what I'm saying? Like, he had a plan. His plan was all on writing, his game plan and everything. And they will argue that should not be admissible because it's just his writings. It wasn't evidence. But knowing the fact of what the writing could get any innocent, showing that he is innocent, but yet because it was just his writings, we should not have that. These people know he didn't do it, but they put it on an evidence level. You see what I'm saying, Mike? Where they could keep that from Eddie, helping Eddie. Eddie can't bring this stuff up. You get where I'm coming from?
Right. Freebird said Riley's notes were a roadmap to framing Eddie the pieces he needed to fix that box he manufactured. And we're in the middle of transcribing them notes, all accuracy. So we're going to bring them to the people as well. So as soon as it's done.
They would actually, and it went note for note. His game plan, everything went exactly the way he planned, everything, except with the ball, Patrick. And it's so easy and see, but these people would still fight against Eddie receiving this as evidence because they can't have the loss. Instead of letting this, knowing that something was wrong here, they will fight this. Can you believe it? They got the plan. They got his plan right in front of them, and they will still fight. The government is still fighting for allowing Eddie to have that. Why, Mike? Come on, man.
And just so that people can know, we're going to show you all the official paperwork slowly. We'll break it down. You can go to truthabouteddieobrien.com website. It's filled with the state's own evidence. It's their own evidence that's going to hurt them at the end of the day and show you how they threw a kid into an adult system like he was a grown man, you know. So this is
Right.
horrible that I call it the day they decided to ruin a child's life, man, because that's what they did. Go back to August 24th of 95 when Eddie got indicted. Grand juries don't need proof. We know the ham sandwich gets indicted all the time.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know?
It's funny because my lawyer actually said that at my bail hearing. You know, my lawyer said that at my bail hearing. She picked up my indictment. She goes, you know, we all know the government can indict a ham sandwich, and she lifted up my indictment and she goes, and this is a ham sandwich. And she ended up overturning the case.
Oh
so.
yeah, that's always been a great thing. I know that is amazing, man. What you know what? Well, I'm sure your case is referred to all the time. I was reading Commonwealth versus Castillo last night, which brings me to the juvenile transfer hearing, and I can't wait to break that down because that's key. I think in all this, that transfer hearing is key, and I'm glad that people can see this. So Eddie has all this support, so people can know he didn't do wrong.
Right.
They did wrong. You know,
Exactly.
evil over goodness. Absolutely.
And you know, if people are either going to take a look at this or they're not. You know, people's minds are made up, and that's unfortunate. But you know, this chat is so inspiring. I love the people, Denise, Patricia White, like True Crime. You know, just so many of you. I can't even remember most of you guys, but I always say hello to you on there. You know, and do they got any questions, Mike?
Absolutely.
I'd like to interact with them.
You know. Oh yeah, absolutely. David Freeberg just says the notes deciphered because she's helping me decipher the notes. What I believe was his chicken scratch says it all. Like notes like that, you can't even explain it. You know, and it's like it's taking her time.
Well, that's because he's writing it down.
It.
Right. He's writing it down so fast not to forget it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, I did want to talk to you a little bit about the O'Briens, right? Because I think they're special to a lot of people.
Oh my God,
the O'Briens for 20 years now, I believe, right? What kind of people are they?
They're my family, you know. They are loving, caring, understanding, accepting, you know. I mean, the daughters, look at them. They're amazing. You know, Jeannie, Jessica, you know, Mary and Megan. They look how they love their brother. What's that tell you? They don't miss a visit. What's that say? 30 years. They were born into this, them poor girls, and look at them. Look at the loyalty and the love, you know. And they don't have a bad thing to say about anybody. And they will defend their brother to the end, which I adore about them, you know. All of them, Mary, all the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, they stick together, you know. And they were all at my wedding. My baby's christenings, and they didn't miss nothing with me. You understand? Like, it was like I was their son. They treated me like a son. Trisha was an amazing cook. I just loved, like, Thanksgiving I spent with them, you know, not even with my own family, you know, until I got married. And of course, she said it was like losing a son when I got married. Of course, I wasn't around all the time, you know. I had too many kids. But that's them. Right. I can't say enough about them, you know.
When you was inside,
you would never know, Mike. Let me tell you. Can I tell you something? Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Of course. You can tell me anything you need, bro.
When you're in there, you know, when you're with the family, like Thanksgiving, you know, there's 40 people there. It isn't 6, 7. There's 40 of them. Like all the aunts, the cousins, everybody's at Nana's house. Their grandmother, the matriarch, she was amazing. She accepted me. Like, here I am, you know, on paper, I'm a pretty bad guy, you know. And she accepted me and made me feel welcome in her home. You know, when I'm nervous going there, you know. these are all citizens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these are yeah, exactly.
Right. And I swear to God, I was there for 10 hours. It was one of them type deals. Like, and that was the first time I spent with them, you know? It just goes to show you, like, I hated to even leave, you know? And I used to love and wait for them to invite me to things, you know? They were a big part of my life. They were a big part of my children's lives, you know? They accepted me in. And I was saying, like, you go there, you would never know the tragedy that had them. They kept on, like, they kept the family thing together, you know? And Ed would call and he'd get passed around by everybody had to talk to Ed. Everybody, you know what I mean? And
oh, Ed's on the phone. Oh my God, I want to say hi. Let me talk to him.
absolutely. And this is 15 years into the bid. How about that? You know? And
yeah, when collect calls were real.
You know, and it's funny because, you know, if the girls needed me for anything, I got a call, you know, and I come and show up like a brother, you know. That's the relationship I have with them. That's the relationship they allowed me, you know. I was, how do I say it? You know, I benefited the best out of that relationship. That's all I can say. They made me a better person. They helped me when I became a father. You know, Big Ed's amazing. All girls, like he's a saint, you know. How he's not in the cuckoo band, I'll never know.
Yeah, we're gonna get. I just got,
you know, all girls, prices, right? The cats, girls, the dogs are girls. You name it, girls.
I know, right? They're all girls, man. Speaking of all girls, I gotta go use my bathroom before my girls get home. But give me a minute. We'll be right back with JoJo. You know what I mean?
Go ahead, Mike.
Some questions in the chat. Give me a minute, JoJo.
Go ahead, Mike.
Right back to rock with you, you know, a little bit of a little song over here from Margot Nash, man, you know, getting busy with the new book. We got our book, you know, we're gonna read it soon. You know, we'll be right back.
15 years old, life in a flash. Eddie O'Brien's dreams turned to ash. Caught in a storm of political lies. Justice was blind, just heard the cries. In 95, untold. The DA's game, playing with fate, manipulated minds, sealing Eddie's slate. Oh, Eddie, hold on tight. We're dancing for the truth tonight. Break the chains, let the world see. Your voice is strong, it's time to be free. Justice for Eddie, justice for all. We'll rise together. We'll never fall. Exculpatory truths left on the shelf. Margot Nash spoke, revealing the stealth. Turning pages, the story unfolds. The politics of murder, a truth bold and in every corner. The whispers of doubt, a system that's rigged.
They said they dancing on the table. Get out of here. You gotta calm down. Really. Go out.
Time to uncover the truth for justice's sake. No more suppression. Let the voices ring. Together we rise. It's a hell of a thing. We'll sign the petition. Take back the night. Fighting for Eddie. We'll win this fight. Oh, Eddie,
never fall, 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 fall. More than half a life in a crowded cage, but hope knows no bounds. It's never too late. Hear the rhythm, feel the beat. Justice is coming, can't accept defeat. No more shadows, let the truth shine bright. Eddie O'Brien, ready for the fight. So let's light the way with our hearts ablaze. Dancing for justice, we're entering a new phase. Sign for Eddie, let the world know we're standing together. We're ready to go.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, man. We still here, we still alive. We still riding for Eddie O'Brien. And on this birthday bash, it's my favorite Eddie today, man. You know, that's what's up. 1 second, stop the music, stop the music. I know they're like, no, don't stop the music. But we live here. And listen, I'm going to take a second right here in the middle of the show to remind everybody why we doing this, right? This ain't about content, right? It's all good. It ain't just a stream, right? It isn't something to watch while you eat breakfast, right? This is a damn movement, right? Movements move forward. Somebody once said, a movement for a kid who never got a fair damn shot. Did Eddie ever get a shot? Hell no. Kid who walked into a courtroom at 15 years old and got treated like he was 45. A kid the system threw away before they even looked at the truth, man. Go to thetruthAboutEddieO'Brien.com and learn that shit. You know, you want to support Eddie, let's go, you know. But we got JoJo in the building. We're going to bring him back up right now. You know, a man who knew Eddie, the world turned its back on him. A man he met in Cambridge. A man who saw the real Eddie, not the headlines, not the lies, not the fear-mongering, not people that had seen him from 100 miles away. JoJo saw this kid up close. His heart, Eddie's innocence, Eddie's truth. Eddie caused more peace in the prison than the system did. You know, and that's why I think the show matters. Every time we go live, every time we talk about Eddie O'Brien, I just, like, I really never even met Eddie, didn't talk to Eddie, but I talked to his dad, and they're just real people, and it just opened up my heart, you know what I mean? People like JoJo, you know, we're putting the truth back on the table, right? So the spotlight where it belongs. JoJo.
What's up, Mikey? Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a little time delay, people, so that's probably, yeah, I could hear you. There's a time delay, so, you know, it might take a couple seconds for us to hear with each other, man. But, yeah, we rocking with Eddie, you know what I mean? We're trying to see him. Maybe we can set up some kind of road he had.
You're breaking up.
Oh, I'm breaking up now. Darn it. Hang on. All right. JoJo, talk to the people for a second, and I'll fix that.
Yeah, I wish I could hear them.
Yeah, no, but we can.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, you can't hear them, but you can hear me. I could probably, let me pull up the.
I'll do some shout outs. Denise, you know, these people that I talk with back and forth on the chat line, you know, like Denise and Freebird and, you know, Patricia, you know, how are you guys? I hope you're okay. Courtney, Big Eddie Snacks, of course, Trish, Jerry, and anybody else that I go back and forth with. I hope you're having a nice day today. I'm not very good at this.
You're very good at it. You're doing great. Keep going. Let's go, JoJo. Tell them chat. Put the Shamrocks in the chat. Let them feel welcome.
It's funny. I'll listen to the show after. There's Denise with the hearts. All right, now I'm seeing it. I got it on the live screen now.
Oh, there you go. You know, they're out there. Denise Noel's in the building. Look, she's leaving us for about a week. She's going on a cruise. You know,
Courtney, I see ya. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, that's cool. Trisha, I love you, Trish. thanks for being part of my life, you know. It's pretty sad that I got to hug them more than Eddie did, you know, Mike.
But I'm sure they happy that they got to hug you when they couldn't hug their
Auntie
son.
Jerry. Is that Mary OB? Mary, I love you, Mary.
Yep,
See you
Mary
tomorrow.
OB.
Mary just had a baby,
Well,
you
congratulations.
know. So such a normal, loving family, you know.
And we could all feel
It
the
was so
love.
weird. Mary was the last one I thought would have a baby, by the way, you know. I thought she was just going to be a good auntie forever. And she's an amazing mother, you know. Megan, amazing mother. Jess, amazing. Jeannie, amazing mothers. They had such a good mother to teach them, you know. I want my girls to grow up like them.
Amazing.
Much
All
love to
right.
you, Patricia.
I'll put the link in the chat, and anybody that wants to come up and say something, you know, keep it short, 5 minutes. How's that sound, JoJo?
Oh, I'm great with that. I'll probably be better at that, you know.
We'll bring the people up.
Hey,
If
Mike, you know
somebody
what?
wants to come up, what's that? You know, so you guys know how to hit the link. You know, hit the link. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want. You know, you can come up, say something to JoJo, say something to Eddie. I'm sure at some point Eddie will get to hear all this. But I hear from people that Eddie's calling and he's very grateful for everybody in the chat, everybody working his case. I mean, it's like having a whole bunch of attorneys on the job that you don't have to pay.
You know, what I want to say something, you know, and like Sherry and Danielle, I love you guys. I love the way you're fighting for him. Keep it up, you know. It's gonna pay off someday. It really is. And Margot, you know, I never had the pleasure of meeting you guys yet, but I gotta thank you. You're fighting for my brother too here, you know, and that's how I feel inside. So, and
Absolutely.
like these people are so amazing to me. Like the way they're on the ground. They're doing the groundwork, you know. And Sarah come up with an idea to get some bumper stickers. You know, I think that would be a great deal.
Stickers, the round ones.
You know, stickers and the free Eddie stickers. You know.
Oh yeah, and you know, I talked to Mr. O'Brien about a few ways that we could spread the word. You know, people want to make signs, and like I said, we can maybe have a time where we can get a hall and have a fundraiser. You know, bring people together because you know it takes a lot.
Right.
What did you say? It takes many families to defeat tyranny, right?
Yes. You know, you know, many families becoming one family. You know what I mean? To be tyranny. And this is tyranny at its worst. The only reason they get away with this is because it's individualized. Like he's a 15-year-old kid. Who is going to listen to him? And who's going to listen to the parents? Who? Like as far when you're up against the machine. And I got that firsthand. You know, no one, especially with my past, with this case, I you know, you got to understand the case I got. I'll give you an idea. You know, when I got a RICO indictment, 47 count, I had the same indictment as John Gotti minus the drugs and the murders. I had 47 counts of racketeering, extortion, wire fraud, you name it. This was for picket lines, pal. Okay, all this, they got all these out of picket lines, you know? And of course, you know, my name sells papers and they ran away with it. Who's going to believe me when it's the federal government, right? And I was married. My wife's father was a state trooper who stood by me with this, and he was in disbelief. You see what I'm saying? I overturned all 47 counts, and just goes to show you. Like, but when this was all going down, there was nobody listening to me. Like, I fit the mold for what they want for their story. You get it? And I mean, I overturned all 47 counts, instant release. They surrounded me and walked me out of the yard. I got on a bus that day and went home to my family from Danbury, Connecticut. You know what I mean? And you'd be amazed at what I lost and got nothing back. You know, thank God for Marion Conrad, my lawyer. She fought for me like Danielle and Margot and Sherry and Trish and Eddie are fighting for Eddie. You see what I mean? Because it works. I'm proof of that.
Absolutely. We got Denise on the line. Denise is on. Want to come up here and say a few things? Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
ya.
How you doing?
Good.
Hi,
How are
Denise.
you? Hi, Joseph. Brat. You're a brat. Anyways, happy birthday, Mikey. JoJo.
I can hear you.
I am so happy you found the O'Briens. I'm so happy you found Eddie. God puts us in places for his own reasons, and He put you
That's
there, right?
so true. I
Yeah,
get it now. Trust me when
yeah,
I tell you.
yeah, yeah. And I can hear it, and I could cry every time you say it.
And Denise,
I
like,
cry.
think about. I'm sorry, honey. Go ahead.
Nope. Go ahead. Nope. You go.
And I can hear it, and God puts people in places like you. Like, you don't know who we are, and just to understand, like, you took time to look into this, so it's all part of a plan, and
Aside from my family, Eddie has my undivided attention. Eddie and his family have my undivided attention. I can't
we
focus
know
on
that.
more than one thing. I can't. I have to. You know what? I have no patience either. So this is
That's
going to
awesome.
happen. 2026 is the year.
Well,
Yeah,
God willing, and people like
that's
you,
right.
you know,
Oh,
and Denise, the thing is, if this happened to your son,
I
like I hear
can't.
Patricia talk about how big her son is, right? The O'Briens would be the first ones there helping you. They don't miss nothing. You got to taste the
It's
injustice
it's
to understand it.
it's in your person. I think it's in your, I'm going to say it, DNA.
Yeah,
It's in your
there it
DNA
is.
to either want it or you
There it
don't.
is.
And
There
you
it
know what?
is.
Yeah, it is. It's in your DNA. And whatever we can do, these people here, I'm talking everybody, and I don't even want to call out names, but Freebird and Honeybee and True Crime and everyone on this chat here that is out to help Eddie, it's in their DNA.
That is
It's
so awesome.
You know what? And we love them. We love them for how much they stuck by their son. Because I couldn't imagine being as strong. I don't know. I mean, I would definitely do it, but I don't know how she's doing it, or I don't know how Mr. O'Brien or Mrs. O'Brien are doing it. But God love them. I just,
Because they
it
have
brings,
to.
it's just so heartfelt. It touches me. It just gets to me.
I've laughed with them, cried with them, you name it. It's happened, and over him,
And
I've
we
had
do
many a
too.
days I
Believe it
cried
or
over.
not, we do too, Joe. We laugh
Oh
and we
man,
cry
I
with
mean,
them too and we don't even know them. We haven't met them yet,
to
And
this
and we
day, like I don't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you go.
To this day, I hang up with him and I just shake my head and don't know how he does it. Like and can be so happy with me on the phone, and you know anybody in my life he instantly connects with, like Sarah. He's got Sarah doing things for him because she loves him already. You understand? Like
Yeah.
that's what people don't get. Like he has been through more stuff with me over a phone you
I
wouldn't
have
even believe, And and sometimes he's the big brother, Sometimes I have to listen to him,
yeah. I don't even know.
And
I don't know. Mikey, thank you so much for picking this up. You and your wife are amazing.
they
And we're
are.
gonna build this up and we're gonna we gotta make a movement out of this. Yeah, yeah. We
This
gotta
is what it needs. Together we can.
Yes, we will build it and they will come.
Denise, you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. You guys all in the chat, the O'Briens, Sherry Lee, Mikey,
Yes.
Christina, We love you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nothing but love, Denise.
Same back.
That
And
was
enjoy.
Well, take care. Happy
enjoy your
birthday.
vacation, Denise. Be safe
Thank
on
you
that
so much.
ship.
I'll be away, but believe me, I'll be watching as much as I can on that over the waves.
Well, I'll come on anytime Mikey wants me. Mikey wants me more if I can help him with anything, dissect all this stuff. That's a lot of work this guy's doing. People don't even understand what this guy's doing. It's amazing.
That's what I
I
mean.
am
I don't know how he does it, and he works over the overnight shift. I don't know how he does it.
he's a very, very intelligent, driven person, which I love about him. You hear me?
He's got the drive
He's
that
got-
Eddie needs. He's got the drive that Eddie needs, and the O'Briens
and
need. He's got it.
we all need it. He's an amazing guy.
Yes,
You
he
know?
is. And
Well,
on that
thank you. I
note,
really appreciate that.
Mikey, we love you.
Absolutely. Love you guys too,
Denise.
man. Thank you.
Nothing but love, Denise.
Same back to you, JoJo Brad. My brat. You're my brat. I'm calling you my brat. Take care, everybody.
That was my
Bye-bye.
grandmother. My grandmother used to call me that.
Yeah, me too. I know. My Nana did too.
It's so funny hearing it.
I know. Well, you are.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
All
God
right,
bless
take
you.
care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take
Bye-bye,
care.
honey.
Bye-bye. Well, that's very nice. And JoJo, I just want to say, on, this perfect moment to show love, show respect to you, show the chat.
Oh my God. My
JoJo's
God. I feel
great.
like I know her. Like I feel like I know her a long time. That's how awesome that chat line is, And there's been some disruptors that try to get in disrupt, but they can't do that here. This is not what this is about, man. This is about Eddie getting justice, and you can't come on here negative if you're not part of it. You can speak your mind but I'll tell you, I'm not answering anyone that can't come on here with their name and they're coming up with aliases. I'm not even recognize you. You don't even exist. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. We don't even have time for any negativity. There's,
Mikey, it's about accountability. It's about accountability, Michael. You got something to say. You're not man enough to use your own name, or I am not going to recognize you. You're a waste of oxygen.
See you later.
Absolutely. We got one goal, free and Eddie, getting this man out all these years, but I just want to thank you, JoJo, man, for real. You didn't have to be here. You didn't have to speak. You didn't have to stand up for Eddie, but you did.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I do.
I know.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of
Yes, I
men.
do.
I'm sure there's a lot of men in your position, but you stood up. Yeah, I mean, you've been riding for
Right.
Eddie since you had the chance to
Michael,
ride
I got
for
a
Eddie,
ton of
and not because
supporters,
it's
Michael. You wouldn't believe all the guys that are reaching out to me that done time with Eddie. That they, of course, they're not into the podcast scene or nothing like that, but they're very happy to be seeing everything on Facebook. They hope he gets out. Like I'm talking, people are listening. You can tell how many are listening. You know what I mean? That don't get on the
Oh,
chat
yeah.
line. It's pretty big, Michael. Trust me when I tell you, people are paying attention. I talked to a bunch of good guys. Christian, hello, if you're listening, buddy. Thank you for the kind words for Eddie. So many people I could mention, you know what I mean, Michael? But he has a ton of support, And
Absolutely.
I promise you, they'll be there when the time comes, too. When the time comes, that's when they'll show up for Mr. and Mrs. O'Brien. I promise you. You start getting some standouts, you're going to see a lot of people. I promise you.
Absolutely. And if anybody ever wants to come on and talk about Eddie, talk about their experience with him, they're more than welcome, man. Especially you've seen it with your own eyes, You saw Eddie's
That'd be
heart.
awesome.
You saw Eddie's innocence, and I'm sure a lot of guys, when they heard, oh, we got a 15-year-old kid they're waving as an adult, they're like, whoa, what? And probably not surprised at all, knowing how dirty Riley is and how the system, and, it don't stop
Right.
at Eddie, man. A lot of guys were done dirty. Not as dirty as Eddie, but
Oh,
a lot
my
of guys
God.
were done dirty.
My God, Mike, you wouldn't even believe the numbers, If,
Oh, I know.
they don't like to
I
lose.
believe him.
They don't like to
Nope.
lose, Mike.
Nope.
They don't like to lose, especially when they know they're wrong. When they lose in the end, when they think they're right, that's one thing. But when they know they're wrong, forget about it. It's a whole different game, Mike.
Absolutely, man. But anything anything else, JoJo, on this nice beautiful day, a little rainy outside, but anything else you wanted to let the people know, or anything else that we don't know about Eddie, or you know, anything Eddie wants the people to know?
You know, Eddie's so thankful. Number one, he's so thankful and he appreciates it. You know, he just needs people to open it up and look at the evidence. I mean, just take a look. You know, it's frustrating for me. You know, when something's so clear. You know, but you know, a lot of people just don't get it. They see something on TV and their minds are made that day. You see what I'm saying? And
Oh
any
yeah,
questions
no,
for me?
absolutely.
Anybody out there with some question?
Yes, as you know, do you know, and are you allowed to say if Eddie has tried to pursue a Brady ruling?
I don't know anything about that right now.
Well, we'll find out for you
Um,
people. We'll
yeah,
ask
I can,
Eddie
but
actually,
I
and we'll
will.
find out.
I'll ask him that tonight. Actually, when he calls me again tonight, you know.
Absolutely. You know, and yeah, let Eddie know that we're all out here, you know, rooting for him, holding him down. You know, you're helping keeping his name alive when they were trying to bury it. And the funniest, you know, when I ask people when they say they'll leave these stupid comments, and I'll say, I got one question: why? Why? Like, why you go to? Well, a jury convicted him of his peers, and I say, wait a minute, I didn't see none of Eddie's peers on that jury. You know, but a jury, you got
Absolutely.
that much faith in a jury? Because I do not.
They didn't have 12. They didn't have 12, 15-year-olds on that jury. That's his
No, they
peers.
didn't. No, they didn't. But even if they did, look, we had the right judge. They got rid of him. No matter what, they were going to get rid of you.
Oh, there it was. There it was, right there. You know, it would have been a judge. It would have been Judge Heffron. You understand? A very fair guy.
You know, they couldn't
Very
get him to
fair guy.
switch, so they pulled him out.
And it kills me, like how to say, even the judge is questioning. He's not even a DA. He's never tried a case. Imagine him saying that about Tom Riley. You know what he was
Right. Oh,
saying?
yeah,
He's like
absolutely.
saying, right, like you think you're smarter than me. You're not even, you've never tried a case before, and you're going to try this case. And that's what he said. He says, I knew he was done right there. You know what I mean?
Margot Nash was in the chat, and she said she can't wait, JoJo, when you said I can't wait to meet you, you know, so she feels the same way. Everybody get Margot Nash's book. We're about to read it pretty soon on the show. And by the time we're done, be just in time for the second book that's be coming out. So go get Margot's Nash book, you know, Politics of Murder. Very good book. We're going to read it on the chat. We already started reading it to ourselves, but good book. Go support Margot Nash. Everything she has done over the 30 years for Eddie. Like, she was there from the beginning. Get the book. Figure it out. You know, rest in peace to the 7 unsolved before Eddie Bryan came along. Riley was struggling to solve 7 unsolved cases in Cambridge area. That's ridiculous. You know, for a ridiculous man. You know, but all right, JoJo, man, thank you. I really appreciate everything.
Nothing but love, Michael.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Mike. Take care. Goodbye, everybody.
There's JoJo, you know, shout out to JoJo, man, you know, free Eddie. You know, I think we all want the same thing. And we got some more crazy evidence, facts, paperwork. You know, that's what I'm bringing you. I was up most of the day yesterday. I was trying to make it to 7 o'clock. I was going to do a stream, talk about the juvenile transfer hearing, you know, what went on in that, because that was horrible. But I passed out. I couldn't stay up any longer. You know, passed out. But give me a minute. I'm gonna play a little bit of music. You know, it's a free Eddie day. You know, I'm so thankful to everybody that showed up, man. But we here another day, another fight, right? Another free Eddie O'Brien.
Eddie O'Brien Oh, what a story to tell. 15 years young, caught in a prison cell. Trapped in the system, ain't that just a shame? For a crime he didn't do, they played him like a game. Pattern so clear, yet nobody sees. Intentional lies blowing in the breeze. Documented truths, but they're buried so deep. Poor kid lost his life while the system's asleep. Free Eddie, free him till it's backward. Guilty on paper, but he never had the hard facts. Let a fool think he won, that's how it goes. Eddie's innocence buried beneath all the woes. The man couldn't keep his own story straight. Taking the kid's future, ain't that real fate? Welcome back, chat, got us talking hood-wise. Dark humor and metaphors disguised in the cries. Sir, hypothetically, in a murder case, ain't it funny how a fool runs this rat race? Growth don't happen in the middle of this mess. Step back, breathe, man, just let go of the stress. Free Eddie, free him till it's backward. Guilty on paper, but he never had the hard facts. Let a fool think he won, that's how it goes. Eddie's innocence buried beneath all the woes. See, you gotta let the clowns believe they succeeded. You didn't fold a break, you just got what you needed. Took it to the chin, not the heart, you see. Don't let the chaos take space in your melody. You're built different, like a lesson they missed. Teaching them boundaries, couldn't find them on a list. Drowning in a puddle, they dragged you below. But now you let them flounder, cause they reap what they sow. So here's to Eddie, just as long overdue. Fighting for the truth like we all have to do. Step back from the noise, watch him throw a fit. Free Eddie O'Brien, let's never forget this. Eddie O'Brien, oh what a story to tell. Fighting for his life in this unjust hell. Free him till it's backward. Guilty on paper, but he never had the hard facts. Let a fool think he won, that's how it goes. Eddie's innocence buried beneath all the woes. Eddie O'Brien, oh what a story to tell. 15 years young, caught in a prison cell. Trapped in the system, ain't that just a shame? For a crime. In the courtroom lights, truth's gonna bend. Half an inch standing tall, trying to defend. Said it looked bad on paper, but it's all deeper. Politics lurking, call it a grim reaper. Eddie was just a kid, caught in the fray. But the power players had a game to play. From day one, they wanted him to fall. A kid in the spotlight, crushed by it all. Heffernan knew the truth, no, it ain't fair. Politics behind the scenes, no one would care. Guilty or innocent, the verdict was set. Justice wasn't blind, it was a political bet. Dr. Bonham was chosen, thought he would be right. A face of fairness in that long, dark night. But the DA smiled wide, played both sides slick. Heffernan thought neutral, but maybe that's the trick. With a stroke of a pen, my ruling was sound, but the world turned again. They needed him guilty to fit their plan, change the laws mid-game. Oh, what a scam! Heffernan knew the truth, no, it ain't fair. Politics behind the scenes, no one would care. Guilty or innocent, the verdict was set. wasn't blind, it was a political bet. Juvenile court, he should have stayed there. 20 years, not a slap, but no one would care. System in panic cause he stood his ground, but the wheels of justice just turned him around. They wanted Eddie down, they wanted him lost. With the stakes so high, he paid the cost. Happening's truth reigned clear in the dark. Tried to bring light, but it missed the mark. Eddie, a kid caught in a game, lost in the shuffle, society's shame. So here's a lesson carved deep as stone: justice shouldn't wear a political tone. Heffernan stood firm, knew it wasn't just. In a world focused on power, who can you trust? Heffernan knew the truth. No, it ain't fair. Politics behind the scenes, no one would care. Guilty or innocent, the verdict was set. Justice wasn't blind, it was a political bet.
Shout out to Sweet Bird,
As the story unfolds, the tales of the innocent, the truth yet told. Heffernan knew the truth, and it cuts like a knife in the courtroom of power.
Listen, we're going to talk about the transfer here in a little
What's
bit.
the
I just got to get
cost
it.
of a life?
Give me 1 second, working on that now. Oh, well, just more music for you. We're going to give you some new music that we have, right? That you don't really know about. I'm saying, so we're going to put some new music to you, so give me a minute.
Oh, now, hey. Now listen closely.
No? Not cooperating? Not cooperating. Never fall. Exculpatory truths left on the shelf. Margot Nash folk revealing the stealth. Turning pages, the story unfolds. The politics of murder, a truth bold and in every corner. The whispers of doubt, a system that's rigged. Can't we just shout? Behind those bars, he's waited too long. An innocent heart, where does he belong? Oh, Eddie, hold on tight. We're dancing for the truth tonight.
truth tonight. Break the chains, let the world see your voice is strong. It's time to be free. Justice for Eddie, justice for all. We'll rise together. We'll never fall. More than half a life in a crowded cage, but hope knows no bounds. It's never too late. Hear the rhythm, feel the beat. Justice is coming, can't accept defeat. No more shadows, let the truth shine bright. Eddie O'Brien, ready for the fight. So let's light the way with our hearts ablaze. Dancing for justice, we're entering a new phase. Sign for Eddie, let the world know we're standing together. We're ready to go.
We're rising up for Eddie, that's for sure. You know, but this was such a great day, man. Welcome back to the Free Eddie, the show. You know, we're not just gonna revisit the past, maybe interrogate it a little bit, but diving into these hearings, that juvenile transfer hearing. We're gonna talk about some of that this week, but I'll just tell you a little bit where they should have protected a child, but I think the juvenile system, they're the ones that sealed his fate. And that second hearing is very, very important, That hearing, they tried to say that hearing was a correction to the first hearing. We're going to review it. It wasn't that. It wasn't justice. They rubber stamped on a broken promise. And that's what they got into it, on a broken process. That's what that second hearing, my opinion, was about from some of the stuff that I was reading last night. And a lot of people don't know this. But Eddie didn't just have one hearing. He had two. Because the first one was already a little shaky, it ignored the psychological evals. It ignored how old Eddie was. It ignored if he could be rehabilitated, any potential for that. And it leaned entirely on the charge. And that's what they did. They went on the offense. It was drenched in 1990 super predator bullcrap. And that super predator shit is that shit is just what it is, bullshit. And the second hearing was supposed to fix the mistakes the first one made. That's why Eddie was chilling. He thought it would be taken care of. He comes from a family that believed in the system. That believed that, don't worry about it. We just keep, let's just let the lawyers handle their job and the system is going to work, because that's what that's what they were believed to think, what a transfer hearing is supposed to do. When I read Massachusetts law, at the time, I guess a transfer hearing, I guess it's supposed to answer one question, right? Is this child so dangerous and beyond rehabilitation that the juvenile system cannot safely manage him? And the judge has, the prior environment does Eddie live in? Is he capable of rehabilitation? School history. What does his teachers say? What's his mental health like? Shit like that. But I think in the second hearing, they didn't consider Eddie O'Brien, right? They considered the wound count. Now I don't want to get into too much until I get some more information. But the judge, again, focused on the wound, not Eddie's mind. That was intent? Are you saying the wounds were intent? Not Eddie's history? Not his evals? I'm reading this, and this is what I'm thinking. And I'm not a lawyer. I told you guys who I am, I learned everything I did inside a law library and reading and studying, and figuring a way out. But you can't look at the crime and say that, all right, because the crime was like that, he's a dangerous person or he has adult level intent. What he did can never be fixed. Like Eddie can never be fixed. Like, he's not a machine. Isn't that constitutionally wrong? Is it morally wrong? Every expert said Eddie was what? Nonviolent, non-aggressive, not a danger. You heard the same guy. I believe it was the same guy. I don't know if it was Bonham at the parole hearing. But basically, I think Bonham said he was rollerblading when Eddie went to, during the transfer hearings. I told you about the kid that said, "Yo, Eddie O'Brien, when I fell and got hurt over near the tower, he carried me and my bike all the way home." The judge at that second hearing, he relied on assumptions, not the evidence, right? So the court just assumed, yep, you know what happens when you assume? Make an ass out of you and me, right? Eddie was beyond help. That's what the court was saying. Really? Your Honor, can I tell you that your grandkid's beyond help? You like it. Really, a 15-year-old boy beyond help? Chisholm, that's a boy beyond help. That's a boy that is beyond rehabilitation. And guess what? Chisholm showed that. Craig Price. I want everyone to go look up the Craig Price case. Just amuse yourself. Go research Craig Price, the youngest serial killer in the history of our nation. Rhode Island case, a couple of years before Eddie's. He would have got out when he was 21 years old, but the system was like, we can't let that happen. But I get that because Craig Price was a monster. I knew Craig Price, incarcerated with Craig Price. He was a monster. And he showed over the years, up until every day, he still shows he's a monster. When they changed this law, Eddie and 59 other juveniles got their head cracked. Oh, shout out Miss G and X. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Yeah, that's right. First mod. Appreciate all your help and everything you do, and go hype up these videos. Miss GNX is the one that pushes, let's hype up the videos, but I appreciate everybody, man. We talked about the mods earlier. People on the replay will catch it, but we're talking about Eddie's second transfer hearing. And we're going to go over a lot of that this week. I have some paperwork that I got yesterday. And a lot of stuff like that I read from Freebird, the judge used the same logic that the SJC later ended up ruling unconstitutional, right? Commonwealth versus Costello. I got that case from Freebird. So people in the chat are really helping, really helping Eddie. But if there's a lot of wounds, you can't assume that it's adult level intent. And this is an unconstitutional presumption. And I think it violates due process. It lowers the burden of proof. It's going to replace. How can you replace evidence with emotions, with your feelings? And that's what they did. And guess what? It infected both transfer hearings. Both transfer hearings had an infectious disease. And this is why I think today the Free Eddie movement is very, very important. Whether you're listening over on JFK's show, whether you're listening here, there's so much information that sticks out and make you go, whoa. If transfer hearing was unconstitutional then. The adult trial was unconstitutional. The adult sentence is unconstitutional, right? Wouldn't his entire conviction be unconstitutional? Wouldn't it all collapse? Shouldn't a lawyer have seen this? Not his present lawyers. Listen, what I know is if a transfer hearing, like anything else, is BS and don't work, then that trial was BS. And if it was a BS trial, it was a BS verdict. And a BS verdict is a BS conviction. You know, this is not a technicality, right? I think it's a big foundation of this case. Really big. And I didn't read that till I started going over a lot of documents and started checking out the evidence, man. But the foundation cracked and this whole house is going to come down. The whole house is going to come down. And listen, when you're judging me, I tell everyone, don't judge a book by its cover. You know, because I brought a lot of this stuff out. Eddie O'Brien didn't get one fair hearing. He got two. Two chances for the system to do the right thing. Two chances to protect a kid. Two chances to protect a baby. You had two chances to follow the freaking law. And both times, they chose fear over facts, right? Emotions over evidence. They didn't want justice. They wanted politics, right? What's the truth? Is it louder than ever? Is the truth louder than ever? You know, when we look at the judge exposing his errors, you know, if I could speak to the judge, I'd probably tell him, are you the guy from the transfer here? Oh, yes, I am. Well, wasn't you required by law to evaluate Eddie as a child? But did you? Did you consider his age? Did you consider his mental health, his rehab, his background, any of that? But your ruling focused on the number of wounds, didn't it? And he'll probably say, oh, yeah, absolutely. There's so much stuff we're going to go over, you know, so much stuff. You know, but I would love to Q&A the judge. You know, I would love to ask him a few questions. Like, how about the severity of the crime, right? Not the child. You know the difference? This guy actually, he even ignored multiple psychological evaluations. Like, why bother having psychological evaluations? You ignored them. Eddie wasn't violent. He was amendable to rehabilitation, they said. Did you consider them? No. Oh, my God. I would love to ask this judge some questions. He made a judgment based on his friggin' feelings. He didn't make a judgment based on the evidence. I forgot this was still up. You know, he didn't make a judgment that was based on the evidence. He made a judgment that was based in his own feelings. And actually, he made a judgment that was probably based in politics, really. How can you consider it but reject it without explanation? Like, because he ignored multiple evaluations that all said Eddie wasn't going to be a problem. He would have been great for juvenile rehabilitation. He said he considered them, but I ask you, if you consider them but rejected without explanation, is that even fair? You know, and judge, if you're, a judgment based on emotions, a judgment that's not based on the evidence. I would love to know what expert eval this guy were this, But let me ask the judge one last question. Is it true that Eddie O'Brien's second transfer hearing failed to meet legal standards required by mass law? But you know how these judges are. They so damn corrupt. All right, buddy, man. I appreciate it. I think I'm gonna be back today in a little bit. Got a few things I gotta do. Gotta go outside, and my grass has been getting out of control. I got some more reading to do. Oh, it's pouring out. Oh, you know what? I have been wanting to cut my grass in the rain. People are like, look at this guy, man. He really don't want to be in the house. It's like, no, it ain't that. I love being in my house. He really didn't want to be in the house. But listen, there is one clip that I do want to play from JFK.
Did you kill her? No. He never accounts for the fact that his blood is in that house. He never explains that away in the tape, and he would not have been able to explain that away at trial. And all of this is that Ed O'Brien has been convicted of killing Janet Downey. That's never going to change.
And that's the thing, man, right?
And he never accounts.
Is because of this guy right here. This is the guy.
You didn't hurt Janet Downing?
No.
Did you kill her?
No. He never accounts.
You ain't faking. You are not getting over on that Amateur test. You are not getting over on that test. And I wish some law tubers out there, would definitely look at this case. And if you need information, I'll point you in the right. Yep, JoJo is on today. You can go back and you can actually start this from the beginning and watch it. Yep, JoJo was on, and he'll be back on whenever we need him. Shout out to JoJo. And O'Brien said the so-called experts that Riley hired for the trial never even spoke to Eddie, but made their decisions based on Riley's scheme. Imagine that. How are you going to talk to a kid about an evaluation, but you never even talk to him? Unbelievable. But I wish some law tubers, want to get into this case. They want to hear about this case because let me tell you, this case has more corruption than the Karen Reed case ever had. This case built careers in Massachusetts for over 30 years, built on a child's back. And if law tubers are going to talk about this, Eddie O'Brien was screwed over. There was someone else's DNA in the house. Go back and watch some of my episodes. Everything I say can be backed up by facts. Thank you. I really appreciate it, but it's not my day. It's Eddie's day, man. It's my birthday. Yes, thank you. But, I want all Eddie's wishes to come true. So what? Today will be another birthday for Eddie. Happy birthday, Eddie. Merry Christmas, Eddie. Happy New Year's, Eddie. For all the holidays you missed. And someone said it the other day. As soon as Eddie comes home, we're going to have a Christmas. No matter what time of year it is. And he's going to sit down. He's going to open presents from all of us. After he has his steak. Because JoJo said we're going to Capitol Grill. I don't know if it was a public invitation, but I'll be there. I will be there. Did I do that? Yes, other people's blood that wasn't tested. There's so much BS, man. Give me a minute. We'll be right back. We're going to jam out a little.
Innocence shattered in a world so torn. They said it was fear reopening the doors, filled with whispers behind closed floors. A white boy convicted made it look fair, but in the shadow of justice the truth laid bare. Eddie was a name, but just a pawn in the game. Sacrificed and railroaded, nothing felt the same. Oh, just a boy from Somerville. They played with his life as if it was a thrill. Politics and pressure, shadows at play. Innocent hearts lost in this twisted ballet. He folded like glass, the DA showboating, just trying to amass. The system wanted justice, but justice was blind, changing the laws, leaving truth far behind. Remove the judge who dared to be just. Eddie was demonized in the world's cruel thrust. Size mattered not when politics run deep. From day one he fought, but all they did was sweep. Oh, just a boy from Somerville. They played with his life as if it was a thrill. Politics and pressure, shadows at play. Innocent hearts lost in this twisted ballet. And those inside knew the story was wrong. We could have done better, sang the old wrong song. Experts pressure to twist the truth, arm in the court of despair. There was no charm, he never stood a chance. From the very start, a tragic confession, a broken heart. Watch Eddie's face when the world turned cold. An innocent spirit caught in a tale retold. The system failed him, that much is clear. A boy from Somerville, lost in his fear. Yet in the ashes, his story remains of the justice betrayed and the bitter pains. Through the lens of history, we sing his plight. Remember the boy who stood up to the night. Just a boy from Somerville. They played with his life as if it was a thrill. Politics and pressure, shadows at play. Innocent hearts lost in this twisted ballet. So let's tell his story, raise voices, unite.
Here's a new one for y'all.
In a world of black and white, we lost the shade. Judgments made with no thought, no faith in what could be said. Every expert that came said the same refrain. Eddie wasn't violent, he was fighting through the pain. Now the danger to the world, just a kid with a dream. They taught the wounds and scars like it's part of the theme, but they missed the truth behind the boy standing tall, caught in a system that refused to hear his call. Every single expert, they knew the facts. Non-violent heart, it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate, but the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Oh, oh, and sealed up the gate. With every test and interview, they painted his soul, but that didn't matter. They had lost control. They looked at a number, not the man within, ignoring all the voices that should have helped him win. The purpose of the hearing was to guide him through, yet they tossed the science like they never knew. Too dangerous, too damaged, oh, that's not who he was. Just a child in a system without a pause. Every single expert, they knew the facts. Non-violent heart, it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate, but the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Oh, they focused on the wounds as if pain could define the essence of a kid who's meant to shine. A constitutional failure right before our eyes, lost in the shuffle where justice dies. America, can you see? Can you open the door to the voices unheard, fighting for more? Every single expert, they knew the facts. Non-violent heart, it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate, but the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Eddie's story is a lesson, not just for today. A reminder to listen, to show a better way. When the voices of the many are ignored with disdain, we've lost the battle and it's all in vain. Let the echoes of the experts ring loud and clear. For every Eddie standing there, we cannot disappear.
There we are. Oh, big shout out for the 1999. Thank you. Really appreciate that. You know, you are gifted. Thank you, It's not me alone. I got my great partner, my wife over here, helps me out. Says, no, that one don't work. That don't work. And she has some great songs of herself, too. We played one earlier. But Eddie O'Brien, man, the juvenile transfer here, and we're going to talk about that a lot this week, but just a few things just to go over. And I said earlier about this, there's 7 points of the transfer hearing, in Massachusetts. And when a kid was charged with a serious crime in Mass, there was like 7 things that they had to do before deciding if a kid could stay in juvenile court. 7. Or they get thrown into an adult court with grown-ass men. And these 7 points were supposed to, I'll say, they were supposed to protect kids. That's why these 7 points were put together. That's why we have these 7 points, so we don't end up with some shit like this, but in Eddie's case, they ignored every freaking one. Why did they ignore them all? They ignored his age, right? The first thing, the judge, was Eddie young? Of course he was young. You know what I mean? You can't dispute that. Was he young? Was he still a child? Yeah, absolutely. Was his brain still developing? We already know that. They changed the world because of that, but Eddie was 15, a baby, still in school, still a kid, still in school, still a kid, but they ignored everything. They ignored all that shit. What does this mean? What kind of kid was he? Was he violent? No. So we're going to talk about the transfer hearing and a whole bunch of stuff. I just want to get some more stuff on the transfer hearing before we start talking about it. You know what this means, man? I want to thank everybody for being a part of this show. I want to thank JoJo. Shout out to JoJo. Shout out to the O'Brien family. Thank you everybody for the happy birthday wishes. What kind of kid was Eddie, man? Why didn't they figure that out? Was he a violent person? Was he in trouble before? Was he a problem in the community? Eddie had no record. They didn't think about any of this stuff. And we're going to talk about that and more. Definitely keep sharing this. Let your friends know. Free Eddie all day. We got our mind made up with this. So they basically ignore the criteria. Oh, and then some. Wait until you find out what else they ignored. We're waiting for a Federal Express delivery request. Big package. We got a lot to break down. Like the emotional grade, the trauma, mental state. How every expert said Eddie was, non-violent, good kid, not dangerous. Some experts didn't even look at Eddie. Come on now. Can't let that ride. I always include my wife. You know what? She helps me behind the scenes. She helps me get shit ready. When I was ready to give up over the years, she kept me pushing along. Every great man needs a great woman in their life. Right, if mama ain't happy, ain't no one happy. Don't ever forget it. That's how we last this long. How you think Mr. O'Brien lasts this long, right? Mr. OB, if mama ain't happy, ain't no one happy. Hey, listen, man, appreciate you all. Stick around, don't go nowhere, because we always do when the show's over. We gonna rock away with some music. We out of here. Love you all. Thank you. Best wishes, Eddie. Happy birthday to me, but today is fun.
Eddie O'Brien, oh, what a story to tell. 15 years young, caught in a prison cell. Trapped in the system, ain't that just a shame? For a crime he didn't do, they played him like a game. Pattern so clear, yet nobody sees. Intentional lies blowing in the breeze. Documented truths, but they're buried so deep. Poor kid lost his life while the system's asleep. Free Eddie, Free him till it's backward. Guilty on paper, but he never had the hard facts. Let a fool think he won, that's how it goes. Eddie's innocence buried beneath all the woes. The man couldn't keep his own story straight. Taking the kid's future, ain't that real fate? Welcome back, chat, got us talking hood-wise. Dark humor and metaphors disguised in the cries. Sir, hypothetically, in a murder case, ain't it funny how a fool runs this rat race? Growth don't happen in the middle of this mess. Step back, breathe, man, just let go of the stress. Free Eddie, free him till it's backward. Guilty on paper, but he never had the hard facts. Let a fool think he won, that's how it goes. Eddie's innocence buried beneath all the woes. See, you gotta let the clowns believe they succeeded. You didn't fold a break, you just got what you needed. Took it to the chin, not the heart, you see. Don't let the chaos take space in your melody. You're built different, like a lesson they missed. Teaching them boundaries, couldn't find them on a list. Drowning in a puddle, they dragged you below. But now you let them flounder, cause they reap what they sow. So here's to Eddie, just as long overdue. Fighting for the truth like we all have to do. Step back from the noise, watch him throw a fit. Free Eddie O'Brien, let's never forget this. Eddie O'Brien, oh what a story to tell. Fighting for his life in this unjust hell. Free him till it's backward. Guilty on paper, but he never had the hard facts. Let a fool think he won, that's how it goes. Eddie's innocence buried beneath all the woes.
Time to get up on them tables, everybody. Get up on them tables. Here's this guy, right? Get up on them tables and dance. Dance to Eddie O'Brien, man. And break it up. Please. Dance to Eddie O'Brien.
15 years old, life in a flash. Eddie O'Brien's dreams turned to ash. Caught in a storm of political lies. Justice was blind, just heard the cries. In 95, when the law turned cold, a tale of the super predator, truth untold. The DA's game, playing with fate, manipulated minds, sealing Eddie's slate. Oh, Eddie, hold on tight. We're dancing for the truth tonight. Break the chains, let the world see. Your voice is strong, it's time to be free. Justice for Eddie, justice for all. We'll rise together, we'll never fall. Exculpatory truths left on the shelf. Margot Nash spoke, revealing the stealth. Turning pages, the story unfolds. The politics of murder, a truth bold and in every corner. The whispers of doubt, a system that's rigged. Can't we just shout? Behind those bars, he's waited too long. An innocent heart, where does he belong? Oh, Eddie, hold on tight. We're dancing for the truth tonight. Break the chains, let the world see. Your voice is strong, it's time to
We'll never fall, 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 fall. More than half a life in a crowded cage, but hope knows no bounds. It's never too late. Hear the rhythm, feel the beat. Justice is coming, can't accept defeat. No more shadows, let the truth shine bright. Eddie O'Brien, ready for the fight. So let's light the way with our hearts ablaze. Dancing for justice, we're entering a new phase. Sign for Eddie, let the world know we're standing together. We're ready to go.
There we go. Before I leave, I want to say rest in peace to the, something local we had, plane crash. Who would have thought? Isaac Sekel, of Charleston, only 21 years old. He passed away. I think it was last Monday when I was starting my show. I live not far from the airport, so we can hear some commotion. Plane kind of don't sound right. I come in, start the show, find out later, that there was a plane crash, So rest in peace to Isaac Sekel of Charlestown, Rhode Island. Very different than Charlestown, Mass. That's for sure. So yeah, so sad that a young man, 21 years young. Imagine that, 21 years young, so close to his landing zone. I mean, they say most accidents happen right close to your home, So be careful, man. Be careful, everybody. Be very, very careful. Oh, how's this? How about a little Motown for you?
Their families breaking apart, chaos in the air. Wonder why the youth are lost in the haze. A puppet show of lives caught in a cruel maze. Stand up, dudes, take it. Make a zombie show, it's by design, we all know it, don't you know? It didn't happen by accident. Oh, now hey,
Oh, brother, sing that. Some Motown for you.
now listen closely, I got a story to tell about a world that spun into a living hell. In the mid-90s, truth lost its place, while the system turned its back on the human race. Hey, all they cared about was filling up the beds. Didn't matter who they grabbed, just fill up the spread. They took the innocent kids, tossed them aside. Evidence was trash, it was a twisted ride. Bodies in the system, just numbers on a page. The system didn't care about the pain or the rage. Now look around. valleys, shadows of the past. We're stuck in the cycle, feeling outclassed. Why do the corners look like a zombie show? It's by design, we all know it, don't you know? It didn't happen by accident, it was all planned. The system made it happen, they had the upper hand. In the chaos in the night, there's a deeper truth. A kid named Eddie O'Brien, lost in his youth. 15 years strong, thrown in a ruthless game. A machine built to crush, no mercy, just shame. Politics and fear, the media spins their lies. Eddie stood no chance, neath the soulless skies. Now look around, see the streets in despair. Families breaking apart, chaos in the air. Wonder why the youth are lost in the haze. The puppet show of lives caught in a cruel maze. But Eddie's not just a solve a struggle, he'll put up a fight. With the truth in his heart, he'll rise from the ground. Voices in the shadows, together we're found. So listen closely, this story ain't done. We're reclaiming our truth, we're taking back the sun. For every fallen brother, every shattered dream, we'll rise.
Shout out to Eddie O'Brien. On this time, everybody, wherever you're at right now, take a breath with me. We're gonna bow our heads. It's probably needed. Close our eyes and just sit for a second. Father God, we come to you today with open hearts, asking you to watch over Eddie O'Brien today. Wrap your arms around him, his family, and all his loved ones. Give him strength, give him peace, give him protection, give him the justice he's been waiting for all these years, oh Father God. Please bless the O'Brien family, bless his mother, his father, his people who never stopped loving him, Lord. Never stop fighting, never stop believing. Give them comfort, give them hope. Give them the courage to keep going, even when the world feels heavy. And it feels heavy for us all, Lord. I thank you, God. Bless this chat, bless this community, bless this family right here. Everybody listening, everybody typing, everybody supporting, and everybody hating. Put love in their hearts, clarify their minds. Give them all unity in their spirit. Keep us safe, keep us strong, Lord. Keep us focused on the truth and not drama. We ask you to guide us, Lord. Protect us, walk over us as we stand for Eddie O'Brien. Let justice come. We stand for justice. We stand for all the men and women that were messed over by a corrupted system. We let truth rise. We let freedom be the final word, Lord. Amen. Amen. And I thank you all for being with me today. I really mean that, man. One love to everybody. That's what it's about.
helped him win. The purpose of the hearing was to guide him through. Yet they tossed the science like they never knew. Too dangerous to damage, though that's not who he was. Just a child in a system without a pause. Every single expert, they knew the facts. Non-violent heart, it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate. But the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Oh. They focused on the wounds as if pain could define the essence of a kid who's meant to shine. A constitutional failure right before our eyes, lost in the shuffle where justice dies. America, can you see? Can you open the door to the voices unheard, fighting for more? Every single expert, they knew the facts. Non-violent heart, it's not an act. He was meant for healing, not this dark fate. But the court turned blind and sealed up the gate. Eddie's story is a lesson, not just for today. A reminder to listen, to show a better way. When the voices of the many are ignored with disdain, we've lost the battle and it's all in vain. Let the echoes of the experts ring loud and clear. For every Eddie standing there, we cannot disappear.
Oh, I gotta say, this is one of the better birthdays I had in a long time. Thank you, Free Eddie. Shout out to the O'Brien family. Not so well. We'll probably be back later. Over to the truthabouteddieobrien.com. Learning, go to the help now button. Hit that button at the top of the page.
15 years young, stepping into the game with a heart full of hope, but nothing feels the same. They were training them to win at any cost. In a world of shadows, innocence gets lost, ignoring the law. A child's fate on the line. With every manipulation, it's a crime disguised as fine. Hypothetical spoken like weapons in the night, but the truth standing tall is ready for a fight. They call it justice, but it feels like a lie. Destroy your futures in the blink of an eye. Eddie walked in with dreams on his mind, but what he found was a system unkind. We're still here fighting, the battle not done. In a world where the wicked are glorified as one. Evaluations twisted. They've been like the rules. They trade silver for gold while they're playing the fools. Exaggerated evidence, making it so loud, turning the innocent into a pawn for the crowd. With every step forward, it's a step into pain. A culture of winners that's driven by gain. Eddie's hopes fading like whispers in the dark, but he carries the truth, igniting a spark. They call it justice, but it feels like a lie. Destroy your futures in the blink of an eye. Eddie walked in with dreams on his mind, but what he found was a system unkind. We're still here fighting, the battle not done. In a world where the wicked are glorified.
Scatter the silence, we're raising our voice. No more deception, we reclaim our choice. Can't turn a blind eye to the hands that oppress. We're holding the light, can't settle for less. Eddie's heart beats for the ones left behind. A future unwritten, we're breaking the bind. Justice, but it feels like a lie. Destroying futures in the blink of an eye. Eddie walked in with dreams on his mind, but what he found was a system unkind. We're still here fighting the battle not done. In a world where the wicked are fight is one. Strong in the fight for the future where we all belong. Breaking the chains, let the truth be revealed. In a world that's unjust, we'll fight for the field. Eddie's legacy, etched in every word. We'll rise from the ashes, let our voices be heard.